So you had the first impression. Now it's time for the second conversation. And you think by yourself, how hard could it be, right? That confident is where most people ruin the second conversation. They underplay it, overthink it, or treat it like the sequel nobody asked for. Hey, someone here. Welcome to Restless Authority. By the end of this video, I'll show you how we screw up the second conversation and what to do about it. Let's get into it. If you want a perfect example of seeing how you shouldn't play a follow-up mindset, because it can destroy relationships, look at Japan after World War II. Nobody trusted them. So they began by rebuilding their relationship with the world. Cities destroyed, trust shattered, the world was suspicious. They couldn't just send a polite letter and say, let's continue our discussion and we are sorry. Nobody wanted a continuation, they wanted a new beginning, or in some cases they didn't even want to talk. So they did something interesting. They opened doors instead of sending long letters. They invited foreign educators and engineers to teach and live in Japan. They sent young students abroad to learn and bring back ideas. It was weird at first because trust was gone, but those gestures slowly rewired the world's perception of Japan. In 1960s, those small cultural changes gave birth to collaboration that changed industries, cars, cameras, and technology. And by the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, Japan wasn't seen as enemy anymore. It was seen as a nation of creativity, precision, and peace. That's how connection compounds. Not through grand speeches, but through small acts of curiosity and respect that says, we still want to know you. If the first time was bad, you gave us second chance, so we come more curious than ever. And that's the exact energy you need in a second conversation. Don't follow up with more talk. Invite them in. Ask them to talk about themselves. Make them feel home. Make them feel seen. So instead of, hey, remember what we talked about? I want to talk about that more. Try something like, something you said stuck with me. I've been thinking about it. Can you explain a little bit more? Or I want to know what's new with you. That shows you listened, reflected, and cared. 3 signals that trigger the trust, and then you can go forward from there. We love to prove we are interesting. But connection grows slower than our ego wants it to. For decades, North and South Korea have been divided, families splitted, with no contacts. But every few years, both sides allow small reunions where parents, children, and siblings who haven't seen each other for 50 years finally meet again. Here's what's surprising. The first conversation is usually a shock, tears, disbeliefs, awkwardness, even confusion. People expect those moments to magically fix decades of separation, but they don't. It's a second conversation the next day where everything's softened more. They ask slower questions, they laugh a little, they remember shared stories, if any. They reconnect. Psychologists who study these reunions say the second meeting is where the real healing begins. Because the nervous system finally relaxes, the pressure drops, people become more interested again. That's what your second conversation needs. Not drama, not a deep dive, just a second moment where you show up calm, curious, and real. So don't force depth. Just improve quality by asking questions instead of, how's work? Try, what's one thing that's giving you energy this week? They don't answer it by okay, they think and then answer longer and deeper. Instead of still busy, try, what's in your mind that taking the most of your brain space recently? It's weird at first, but then they see you are serious and the conversation begins. You see the depth there. You see they talk about the happy moment, the painful moment of their daily business, and you nod, you empathize, and you talk more, connect more. These questions flip small talks into real talk without planning and researching to make things really, really weird. Everyone says mirror their energy. It's true, but if someone's quiet and you mirror their energy, then there will be no conversation, right? Matching is about rhythm, not reflection. I will explain with the story from the Thai cave rescue at 2018. 12 boys and their coach were trapped deep inside the cave system, surrounded by raging floodwater, with oxygen running out and no clear way to reach them. For 2 weeks, the entire world watched as one of the most complex rescue missions in the modern history unfolded. Teams came from everywhere. Thai Navy SEALs, British cave divers, Australian doctors, American engineers. None of them spoke the same first language, used the same system, or worked under the same command. It could have been chaos, but it wasn't. Why? Because they didn't try to mirror each other's emotion, they matched rhythm. When Thai commanders felt emotional pressure from the families outside, British divers grounded them with slow, factual updates. When the British divers pushed for speed, Thai engineers slowed the conversation down. If we rush, the cave floods. When Australian doctor Richard Harris proposed sedating the boys, a crazy-sounding plan, the Thai SEALs commander didn't panic or reject it. He took a breath and said, "Explain it to me." That calm presence balanced Harris's urgency and opened the door to the only plan that could work. That's how 12 boys came out alive. Your second conversation works the same way. As funny as it sounds, people show up with their real energy, not the first impression version. Your job isn't to copy what you saw. Your job is to match what the moment needs. Maybe they're quieter the last time. Maybe they are more excited. Maybe they're tired, distracted, or buzzing with ideas. The mistake most people make is trying to mirror the mood. Your job in the second conversation is not to copy them, but to meet the moment. If they are calm, you bring curiosity and open the door gently. Something simple like, "You seem quiet today. How's your day been?" If they are energetic, you bring grounding that helps their energy lands like, "You're on fire today. Tell me what sparks that fire. I want some of that energy." You're not matching volume, you're matching direction, and they will share it with you. And many things afterward. That's why the second conversation matters. It's where you show you can adjust. It's where people decide if talking to you feels effortless or exhausting. Most of second conversation die in the goodbye. You heard me right. I've been there thinking, what should I say? What's next? How to say, "Do you want to see me again?" And with warmth, maybe not agenda. Look at how the Paris Climate Agreement was built. Before 2015, global climate talks were graveyard of broken promises. Copenhagen in 2019 collapsed in anger. Countries blamed each other, trust faded, and the world left more divided than ever. By the time Paris came around, everybody expected another failure. But something changed. French diplomat and her team decided to redesign the way world leaders talked. Not the politics, the tone. Instead of pushing for rigid deadlines and power play, they focused on gratitude and respect after every single meeting. When discussions got heated, they would remind delegates, "Let's thank each other for showing up. We'll continue tomorrow." Sounds small, right? But psychologically, it's massive. A 2012 Harvard study on negotiation found that ending on appreciation, not urgency, increases cooperation by over 30% in the next round. You can say, "This was great. I'm glad we picked this up again." Or, I'd love to hear how that project turns out. Ping me when it does. By the end, nearly every nation on the earth signed the Paris Agreement because the conversation was different. They learned the same truth you can use in your own relations. People return to places where they feel respected, not rushed. That's how you keep a second conversation alive. You are signaling care, not closing a deal, because the second conversation's goal isn't conversation, it's knowing each other and connect more. If this hits home, tell me in the comments what's 1 second conversation you wish you can redo. Please leave a like so YouTube shows this to the people that need to see this, and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you. If you want to learn how to start better in the first place, watch my video, Your Brain is Lying to You about talking to people. It's link up here. The second conversation isn't about performance, it's about proof. Prove you listened, prove you are curious, prove you are still human in the world full of scripts. That's how you stop screwing up and start being remembered. See you in the next one.